Hello guys, and welcome to our tutorial classes for academic presentation skills. Today we'll be looking at presenting your researches, academic work to an academic audience with ease. I remain Professor Abubakar Yakubu, your regular tutorial master. In our outline today, we'll be discussing about key to presentations, things to remember during presentation, what is really important in your presentation, verbal and non-verbal communications, important tips and tricks, questions and answer, the TRACT technique, and what to avoid in your slides. I want to credit a very popular writer and researcher for what she said about communication. She said, the ability to communicate by means of speech is perhaps the most dramatic difference between human beings and other life forms. This God-given gift of speech may reflect in the deepest sense how human beings are made in God's image. Lalita Singha, a very respected writer, and I respect her for her different knowledge contributions to mankind. So the key to presentation, for you to have a grasp to what you need to do during presentation, there are three key things that needs to be done. The first is the planning and preparation stage, and the second thing that needs to give you a successful presentation is knowing your content, which is the subject matter of what you're about to present. Then you need to practice several times of whatever you've prepared for a presentation. Things to remember during your presentation that will get you going and make things very easy for you. About your subject matter, what you want to prepare, you need to know why of the subject matter, where your research was taken, when, how, what, and who. By the time you grasp these things that you're supposed to remember, I believe your presentation will run smoothly as you talk to your audience. What is important during the presentation? There are three aspects of the presentation body that are very key to a vital presentation. The first is the introduction, then the body, and then the conclusion of your presentation. So in the introduction, what is expected, what you are going to say is the introduction. So what are you going to say? That is the introduction. The body is say what you have to say, and that is the body. So the body is tell them what you want to say, tell your audience. So, and the conclusion should be tell them what you said. So you finish talking about everything you say. Your conclusion is just remind them of what you have said. And with these three things, I think you're set for a very good presentation. So how does this presentation go on? Presentation go through verbal communication and non-verbal communication. So what are embedded in verbal communication? Those things that are embedded in verbal communication are speaking naturally, not too quickly or too slowly, use clear and audible voice, variation in tones and pitch of voice. Sometimes you want to stress a very good point in what you are discussing from your slide. Your tone could be high and then it could be low. Talk to the audience, do not talk to yourself. Avoid ambiguous words during your presentation. Use words that are clear and understandable to your audience. Question your audience. There is nothing wrong for you to question the audience. Sometimes you can start your presentation by asking them, how many of you have used AI tools for your literature review? And then you begin to get responses, and then you see you set up a very good link between the audience and the presenter. Non-verbal strategy. Eye contact. You need to have eye contact with the audience, but don't stare. Move from point to point, move from one face to the other. Movement, you need to move from one point to the other. Don't be stagnant on the spot because you are not a statue. You need to move. Control your gesture. Gesture is allowed to be used, but you need to control your gesture. Overusage of the hands, sometimes scratching your hair, playing with your buttons, playing with your ties, is not allowed. don't stare, use facial expressions. So those things mentioned here are very important for non-verbal communication, and it helps in your presentation. Facial expression, gestures, movement, eye contact, nodding the head, and the physical appearance. You need to look smart and good during your presentation. Important tips and tricks. Keep to time. Number 1, make eye contact and smile. Choose right font type and size, and should be used consistently. That is important. Use bullet points and phrases. Use charts and comics. Check spelling and grammar. Use color here and there, just like what I have on the slide. Be natural and accept nervousness. Avoid artificial feelers. Sometimes we have this mannerism and we don't know. We speak and we keep saying Please try as much as possible to avoid those fillers. Question and answer. During your presentation, some people might want to ask, the audience might want to ask you questions. Hold to questions till the end of your presentation. When in doubt, stall for time. Take a break. If questions are confusing, ask questions. Ask that questions be repeated. Don't give false answer. It is not wrong to have forgotten, but it is wrong to give a wrong answer. That point is very important. Always remember that it is nothing wrong to have forgotten the answer, but it is completely wrong to give a wrong answer to a question asked. So let's be careful. The TRACT technique in answering questions, and delivering your questions. I call it the TRACT technique because the first is the TRACT. The T is thank the questioner. When your question is, oh, thank you, Mr. I thank you for the question, and then repeat the question that the questioner have asked. Oh, thank you for the question. You asked that, blah, blah, blah. You state it. And then answer the question. Then check with the questioner. If he is satisfied with the answer you've given, then thank the questioner again. What to avoid during presentation? Too much text. It's number 1. Too small to read. The font should be large enough for viewers to see, your audience to see as you present. Clip art and slide templates that have been seen a million times should be avoided. Seeing a man walking on your slide, somebody dancing on your slide that have been seen a million times should be avoided. So you are not bringing anything new. There's no innovation in what you are doing. So try and do something new. Spinning, whooshing, dazzling animations should be as much as possible avoided if need be. Just like what I'm using on this slide right now, you find that the whole slide I used, there was no animation or spinning, wishing, and dazzling. I used this here for people to understand that sometimes we don't need this spinning, wishing, dazzling animations when you present your work. It gives people, some people don't like it, some audience don't like it really. Avoid too many bullet points. Yes, your bullet points, even if we advise I use bullet points should be tend to be avoided. Use little, not much. Don't rush what you are trying to say. Slow down. Handling criticism. It is unavoidable. If you have presented a very interesting paper, the audience must, it's a must, I believe, there will be criticism from the audience. It could be constructive, but I'm very sure there will be critique from the audience. But be positive about it. There is nothing wrong. It's an academic audience. Definitely people want to ask questions, and the criticisms are here and there. So listen to the criticisms, decide on what is true or not, decide on which of the criticism is the right or wrong, and then respond strongly on what you think you should critique about, or give answers to the questions that have been critiqued. So you need to respond strongly to it. I think with this, we've come to the end of the little that will aid in your presentation, and I know this will aid you in preparing very good slides and present to an academic audience. So see you next time, and have a very wonderful day. Bye-bye.